Like so many women in Bosnia, 25-year-old Fatima Heaps simply has seen too much. 3 years of war have taken their toll.
And I'm very nervous person, I'm a very stressed person, so I don't care very much about me.
She lives in a refugee collection center, the back half of an elementary school in central Bosnia. She shares a 15 by 15 foot room with her son, her sister, her in-laws, and a niece. Heaps says Bosnian Serb soldiers drove her from her home near Srebrenica in eastern Bosnia. They killed her disabled mother and took her father away, never to be heard from again. Her husband and 2 brothers also disappeared. They are among the 27,000 missing and unaccounted for in the former Yugoslavia. Even as Heaps serves coffee to visitors from America, her pain and depression are obvious. She says she lives only for her 21-month-old son and the return of her husband. What do you hope will happen?
Nothing.
Ne znam šta da kažem.
I don't know what to say.
Šta god bude.
Whatever happens,
Nisam sama.
I'm not the only one.
Samo da će biti dobro, slabo.
But I don't believe it will be ever better for us from eastern Bosnia.
Ne mislim da će se ikad vratiti.
I don't believe that I'll ever go back home.
Heaps' sister, Saha Ramic, spends her days knitting items to sell, so the family will have a small income. She says the Bosnian Serbs held her captive for 5 days. Our translator quotes an estimate that 85% of women held captive were raped. It's a difficult subject to broach.
Other than not having food, did they mistreat you at all?
Pa kako da ti kažem, bilo je svašta.
How am I to say? I only can say that we've gone through everything. I will never forget those 5 days. It seems to me like it happened yesterday.
The war in Bosnia has exacted a heavy price from the women here. Some must deal with the memory of rape and torture. Others must deal with new roles: single parent, head of household, sole provider for their families. Part of the problem is that Bosnia has the highest concentration of widows in the world. For some Bosnian women, starting over seems overwhelming. For others, the process has already begun. These women in Fojnica run a sewing shop. It grew out of their mutual desperation.
Oni će ovdje nešto da nauče.
We talk a lot about our problems among ourselves. We are trying to forget all bad experience we had during the war. Some of these women were in jail, were captured.
When the women started this shop, they had nothing. They needed to prove to humanitarian organizations they could make good use of the seed money they were asking for. Someone suggested sewing a line of fashion clothes, but they had no cloth. Someone else said, what about the burlap food bags our rations come in? And so they used the food bags to make these clothes, shown at a fundraising fashion show last month in Walnut Creek, put on by the international relief agency World Vision. It was a repeat of a fashion show the Bosnian women put on themselves 2 years ago. Now the women make towels, sweaters, and small personal items. It's a godsend to Muneverai Hanazid. A sniper shot her in the cheek, leaving half her face paralyzed. For her, the workshop is therapy.
Novac nije sve.
Because the money is not everything.
Ja sam sve brige zaboravljala.
Because I was forgetting about my worries, about my fears, while I was working with other people.
Hanazid hopes someday to have surgery to repair her face, to add physical healing to her psychological healing. Sunday night, we'll look at whether Bosnia itself can heal from the terrible war that has divided it, and whether the warring ethnic groups can now live in peace. In Fojnica, Bosnia, Craig Heaps for Segment 2.